what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Like that, tell the people that Phony Water is back. Like that, tell the people that Phony Water is back. Like that.
You are tuned into the W Show on Sideline Sports Talk Network and 100.1 FM, Kansas City. Live from Radio Row in San Francisco, California. Brought to you by Gates Barbecue, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, Dillard Zona Rosa, the Soul of Santa, Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services, and Wood Nissan.
All right. Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If this is your first time checking us out, where you been? We appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning. Man, it's been a heck of a week.
Best Saturday I believe.
Yeah, we started out last Sunday and we made it through the Super Bowl week. And it's Saturday.
It is.
Yeah. How you guys feeling this morning?
Feels like I went into a DeLorean and went back in the future.
Yeah, by the end of events like this, you do feel like you have been hit by a bus and a tractor trailer all at the same time, but all in the name of fun and having a good time in sports. But yes, my body hurts. I need to
decompress.
Oh my God, decompress. I need to get a massage. All the things. Sign me up.
No, I was telling my girlfriend the other day, like it's exhausting work, but it's fun.
Yeah.
On Radio Row because you get to, I mean, aside from meeting celebrities, current athletes, and things like that, like you really get to see. Like we've been here 7 years, we get to see a lot of the people we've seen over the 7 years, and it's like. It's almost like a family reunion because you see them once a year. Yeah. You get to kick it with them for a week. Yeah. And then it's like, all right, see you next February.
See you next year. Yeah, that's exactly what I said yesterday at the off the field wives NFL fashion show. It's a really long name. Yeah. It's a really long name. But Adrian Peterson and his wife Ashley, I got to interview with them again. So I was like, same time, same place next year. That was like same time, same place next year.
Same bad place.
All right, we appreciate you guys tuning in with us on this Saturday morning. If you're in Kansas City, we're in sunny San Francisco. Yeah. So I know it's probably cold in KC, but sorry for you. We here and we're hanging out for the remainder of the weekend.
It's actually 54 degrees there right now.
Oh, is it?
What?
Oh, well, see,
they hit 50.
Okay.
They don't have
it might still be a cold 50. It ain't this 50.
They don't have an ocean.
No.
Man. But we got a guest joining us on the show today, man. We got Truman Jones.
Yeah.
NFL linebacker, played with Tennessee Titans.
What's
up, man?
What's up? Happy to be here, y'all. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Talk about this whole Radio Row thing, man, because Is this your first one?
This is my first Radio Row on the other side. And so just a little backstory about me. I played with Kansas City originally, started my career there in 2023. Transitioned from Kansas City, was with New England Patriots for a year. So was with New England half of 2 seasons ago, 2024 till middle of 2025. And then probably week 10 of this past season was with the Patriots, got picked up by Tennessee and been out there since. And so this is my first time coming to a Super Bowl, not as a player. And so it's a completely different experience. Yeah. Obviously, I remember doing all these interviews and stuff for a day, for an hour or so as a player. Now it's Radio Row, and this is here all day of the week. Everybody's hitting me up. When are you coming? When are you coming through? When are you doing this? When are you doing that? And I'm just piecing my schedule together day by day, but there's so much to do in so little time. So I just understand exactly what you guys are going through, and welcome to my world and feeling your body. Still having to use your mind and process. Yeah,
it's the off season, man. Talk about how you prepare. We talked to We talked to a lot of guys, man, throughout the week, and they've all talked about, they're taking the off season, take time to be with family, and then kind of get back to, easing their way back into working out.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm on the same kind of schedule. And so taking really early in the off season, I hit the ground running to try and make sure that I would take some vacation to decompress. Changing teams the middle of the season is a new stressor that I've been exposed to twice in a year. And so having to clean up apartments, having to move shop is stressful. And so it was appreciative of some time just to be home in Atlanta with family, as well as taking some trips. And then, like you said, traveling to see family. I have extended family in Louisiana and Texas. And shout out my cousins out there in Louisiana. I don't get to see them as often as I need to, but the off season and with my schedule, I make it very intentional to do that early and then throughout the off season as it extends.
Yeah, definitely. And you look like you just got your license last week.
So young.
Yeah, he definitely listens because I saw him walking by and I'm like, oh, they got some high school kids here. No, he's been in the league a couple of years. So that's funny because, like, off the subject of football, do people still card you to go to the movies and stuff like that?
I get carded for everything. And people think I'm 18 years old or in high school, and I say kids nowadays are looking too old. Is what
it is. What it is.
But believe me, when you get to be 40, bro, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. So,
well, I was gonna say talk about some Ivy Leagues because you don't get a lot of guys in the league that come from Ivy League schools. Really talk about your experience at Harvard because Harvard's in Boston, right?
Correct. Yeah. It's in Cambridge, which is in Boston. But my experience at Harvard, I think it was so unique because, and I didn't realize how unique it was until I got to the NFL and realized how serious I was taking school and football at the same time. Mm-hmm. I think Harvard is unique in that they don't offer additional support that all the other students don't have, right? So you're treated like a normal student, but you have 5 or 6 hours out of your day gone every day. Mm-hmm. And you're expected to perform at the same level. And for me, I was a biomedical engineering.
Okay. My goodness. That and football. And I had a minor. And I like to have fun as well. I had 8 roommates, so we went and hung out every weekend. And so I feel like that was just this big melting pot of activities, but it really made me compartmentalize as well as to be very focused and intentional about everything that I'm doing. If I have 10 minutes in a day, I have 10 minutes that I need to be studying, or I'll split it 5 and 5 football and 5 doing something extracurricular. And so I felt like that made me intentional with my time, made me be planned and really detail oriented. But now as I'm in the NFL, I think it gives me a perspective that's broader than just football. And so in the off season, I try to take advantage of all the academic opportunities that we can. And so I've done some certifications, looking to do some courses this year. We had some really great venture capital tech tours out this week. And so meeting some of the giants in the venture capital world on the West Coast. I'm really a big East Coast guy and spent all my time over there. And so being exposed to that here has been incredible.
And you sound like you are a planner. Most athletes, we ain't planning nothing, man. Where does that come from? Does it come from mom, dad, like family? Where'd you learn that?
It comes from mom and dad, but honestly, it also comes from forgetting so many things by not having a plan and not having a schedule. I have too much going on all the time, and if I don't have an itinerary, there's going to be things that I wanted to do and will miss. And so that's just part of trying to stay on top of it and do as much as I can, as I have to be organized because my mind is in too many different places at one time.
You said your degree was in
biomedical engineering.
Biomedical engineering. So do you see yourself doing something with your degree?
Absolutely. And I'm still figuring out what that is exactly. Originally, I wanted to go to medical school. And so I had taken the MCAT and was really on the direct track to do that. Summer before my last football season, I was looking around and realized that the NFL may be a possibility, but nothing is guaranteed. And so I kind of weighed my options, realized that football has to be taken advantage of right now and put everything to the side. And so my MCAT score went invalid. It goes invalid after 3 years. This is my 3rd year in the league. And so now I'm all in on football and doing that all the time. But want to go into medicine, also looking into the biotech space, also in the research and life sciences space. And so I feel like there's just so many opportunities and I'm getting exposure into all of that now.
I love that. You are so smart. You are smart.
Yeah, that is dope, man. It sounds like you are using, because I asked this question to a couple of guys that we've had on the show earlier this week, how guys use football as a means to leverage other things. And it sounds like that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that's the story of my life, is that football has been means to another end. You know, I've always wanted to play in the NFL, but I didn't know that it was actually possible. And so I didn't vocalize that dream until much, much later in life. And so for me, it was always academics. People in my family, academics have been the change that, accelerate us to the next level. That brought my family from the farm to the city now to Atlanta and doing bigger things. And so academia was so hard to me, but it was also just internalized that this was the route. I have distinct memories of playing Pee Wee football, come home from a game at 8:30, 9 o'clock.
And I'm still doing homework.
I come home and would grind homework for 3 hours in the fourth grade.
In the fourth grade?
It's no reason to be having this much
hours?
homework in the fourth grade or to be this serious about it. But that was just my mindset at the time of I got to get this first. This has to happen.
That's true.
And so I forget where the question was and where we came from that. But it's always working. I've always been working on both of those at the same time.
That's called discipline.
I just have an easier question. You being a linebacker and a big guy, do you ever just sack a quarterback and just give them like M squared times 2? Just
get out of here.
I gave you the Einstein, son.
That's a good one.
Feel free to tackle him and do that.
Yes, please.
So you going from talk about being in Boston, grew up in Atlanta. Talk about going from Black Hollywood to Boston to Harvard, man. Because I know that's a culture shock a little bit.
Absolutely, it was a culture shock. It was a cultural awakening. I think I was grateful. I'm grateful that I'm from Atlanta originally, and that my parents raised me in such a Afrocentric way, and so that I knew myself and knew my roots and was proud of myself. So that when I got to Boston and could walk into any room. And a lot of times you walk into these rooms and you are the only Black person.
Right.
In class, in meetings, and even on the train. I remember taking the train from the airport to school. It's free. So I used to do that all the time when I would come in. And I'm on the train and there's not a single Black person on any of the cars.
None.
Not on the platform.
Right.
And coming from Atlanta, that's shocking. You don't go on public transport and not see a Black person. And so it really made me intentional about finding community. And so I talked about my roommates in college. I had 7 other roommates. They were all football players. We were all smart guys. And I say they're the type of people who I would have liked to have been friends with if we hadn't ended up at Harvard. Just because of their mindset and their mentality. And so we helped to keep ourselves insulated, keep ourselves sane while at Harvard, just because there's a lot of stuff going on the outside. And when we get to our room, we come down, let our hair down and discuss. And that allows us to go into the world and just be that much stronger and support when we know we're supported by each other.
Did it help in Boston that you were 6'3", 255 though?
It definitely helped. I mean, you don't have to worry about too many people picking on you or anything. You know, they may look at you a little bit longer, turn their head as you walk by, but you get used to that over time.
You talked a little bit about, your off season, vacation, things like that. Where are you packing up to go to? Where are you getting away?
Right. Well, I've gone to Belize already, and then I went to Belize and did like a private island resort, really just get away, need to unpack and unwind. And then I went to upstate New York, was meeting up with some friends from college, and they're in the New York area and can't get away for more than a weekend. So figured, I'll come up and catch a train. And so I was in Beacon, New York, 2 hours outside New York City. We'll also go to family in New Orleans, Baton Rouge. I'm actually going to Mardi Gras next weekend. And go down there
what you getting to eat when you get there?
What? Everything. What am I not going to eat? But no, boiled seafood is my favorite. So some boiled crawfish or boiled shrimp.
Yeah, we talking the same language. I want to talk about your first year in the league. You said you played with the Chiefs. Andy Reid is known as one of those coaches that has a system in place, and especially that that helps a lot of players. Talk about the advantages that starting your career off in that Chiefs system with Andy Reid, like how it was an advantage for you, and especially going to these other squads.
Yeah, I think the advantage, like you said, is coming into a system that is so established and so well maintained and oriented, is that you come in and all the coaches know their role, they know their presentations, they understand how to best convey material to a player. And so I think coming in with that level of understanding, and also I came in and they were just off a Super Bowl. So obviously there's a standard of success and excellence that they have held and maintained. And so coming in, you very quickly have to jump on that ship or else you're going to be left behind. And I was an undrafted free agent coming out of college and signed there, not for very much and didn't have anything guaranteed to me. And so made sure that I paid attention to the older guys that were around, but also listened to every word that Coach Reid says. He's a man of few words, but when he says things, he means them.
Yeah, and he talked about this, the not many Ivy League guys in the league. You had one on the defense side of the ball, and Jay Reid. Just talk about what he meant. Did you bounce any ideas off of him? And
Absolutely. And I'll say Stanford isn't Ivy League technically, but there are brothers on the West Coast, so we give them a lot of love. But no, Jay Reid's just extremely intelligent, intellectual guy, and I feel like I've appreciated learning from him how to be a player, how to think about the game, but also how to not over-intellectualize the game. Because coming in, now we focus on football for 12 to 13 hours a day. Whereas in college, it was 3 or 4. And I might study at the end. I really didn't start being able to watch film and study the way I wanted to until my last semester, once I was done with my major requirements.
Yeah.
And so now when you have all this information, it's an overload. You can almost get too deep into it. You can almost do too much studying, do too much reviewing, trying to anticipate too much of what's going on when really you need to play free and play fast. And so just talking with Jay Reed about these things, as well as things that he's doing off the field, has just been so monumental to me, and see where this league can get you if you come in and put the work in.
Did you found yourself overanalyzing just football in general?
Overanalyzing or thinking too much while I'm playing versus reacting and not just trying to, go and be as fast. You can't run and think at the same time. Is how I explain it. And so if you're not moving 100 miles an hour or the fastest that you can in the NFL, you look slow.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until I was watching film my rookie training camp. I think I'm relatively fast. I know my 40's faster than other people that I see playing on the field. But why are they blowing past me? Or why are they doing this? And why are they doing that? I'm not moving decisively enough was the issue, because I'm trying to guess. I'm trying to see. I had one coach who told me, he said, you see a little, you see a lot. You see a lot, you don't see anything. And so I'm paraphrasing it there, but that's the basis of it, is now knowing I need to look at this one thing, and this is going to tell me what my decision is going to be made off of, versus trying to see the entire picture, see too much, and can't make a decision as quickly as you need to.
And what was it like working with Spags? Because from what I know about Spags and just talking to Spags, is that he didn't really like to play rookies, right? Like, because his system is just so complex to where it builds on. I mean, you start in training camp in day one, and then by the time you get to the end of the season, it's just very, complex and a lot of things, moving parts. Just talk about being, there with Spags.
Yeah, I think being with Spags and really understanding how he thinks as a defensive coordinator, it's important to understand who your coordinator is, the positions that he's going to put you in, and why he's going to do things. And I think he did a great job of giving us that entire picture so we understand his philosophy and we can play to that way. And then he just demands a certain level of excellence. Like, you make a mistake in practice. If you make that mistake in practice, you won't be in that position in the game.
Right.
And that's kind of what it is. But he does it in a way that's loving and encouraging. And so it comes from a place where he cares about you, but demands the best. Yeah. And that's elevated so many players to get where they need to be.
Being an Ivy League guy, I was going to ask, being an Ivy League guy and then going into the locker room with other teammates that played at different schools, and you're hearing their type of experience at that college and the type of education and the workload that you had, do you kind of regret going to Harvard in some sense?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't regret it. I think coming in and knowing what my intentions were going to college, I made the right decision at the time. Yeah. If I would have come in knowing that I wanted to go to the NFL, maybe the decision would have been different. Yeah, it would have been different criteria that I was looking at, but that wasn't the goal. And so even still, if that wasn't the goal, but I got to the NFL from Harvard, that means, well, the opportunity is there if you're in the right place and doing the right things to take advantage of it. And so no regrets, no anything. I think, one, just really appreciative of how hungry it made me, how hard it made me work. You think of Harvard as this prestigious place and like just everything handed to you on a silver platter. Yes, there were lobster dinners sometimes in the dining halls, but it wasn't.
Really?
Literally.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
There were. They did serve lobster in the freshman dining hall a couple of times. But still, there's this work that happens behind the scenes. Yeah. It's not just glitz and glamour and everything is great. There's a real hustle and a real grind. I could tell you so many stories about homework being turned in late or having to go straight from practice to a 3-hour lab. And this is just life, things that you have to deal with as a biomedical engineer football player. So no regrets at all. Honestly, appreciate the grind and the hustle because now it makes everything else feel easy.
Yeah.
Who in that linebacker room was that kind of put you under their wing? Was it Nick or was it you got a bunch of guys in that room.
Yeah. And so that's the interesting part is I'm actually a defensive end in Kansas City scheme. Okay, so it was guys like Karlaftis, like Mike Dana, like Charles Omenihu, like Chris Jones. Sure. I mean, I came in the same draft class as Felix as well. So we're both in that trying to figure this out as rookies and figure our way around. But it was a really cool moment this year when I played the Chiefs in Tennessee, just to see all of those guys. And I was on the practice squad originally in Kansas City, so active roster in Tennessee. And they were so happy to see me and loved seeing me playing on the field and living out my dream, just because I felt like they saw the work that I was putting in and saw just the type of person I was, the connection that we had in that moment. And so even though I didn't necessarily play with them, they've always been rooting for me behind the scenes. And so I just have so much love for those guys. They showed me how to be a professional on and off the field, what it means to take care of your body, what it means to take your diet seriously, what it means to even just show up every day and really work as a defensive end. Like it started with those guys in that room.
You feel like going out to Tennessee is because it's really part of the South. Was it like going back home?
It definitely was like going back home. It took me a moment to realize that, even because I was there for Christmas and we had the day off for Christmas. Some guys drove from Nashville to Atlanta Christmas Day, and why didn't I think of that? I've never been anywhere where I've been 3.5 hour drive away from home. That's never been a consideration. But so I think my mom came to every home game in Nashville and made a quick drive or quick flight, and it's just super close to home, super nice to be supported. I think it was great my time in Kansas City. Honestly, getting away, having a new perception, seeing a new reality, I think it's giving me now the comfort that I can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, getting outside of my comfort zone, getting outside of my bubble. And I'm excited to see where it go next.
What's Nashville like?
I was just about to ask that. Yeah, you got the country
it's
scene.
the country scene. It's the Western scene. It's honestly, I compare it to Kansas City because it's a slightly smaller city than Atlanta and Boston. So kind of in that mid-major area, but it's still growing and emerging. And so a great restaurant scene, a great music scene in Tennessee. And then obviously it's, what is it, Bachelorette capital of the world?
I didn't even know it was the number one place for bachelorettes go.
But you have a great time there, okay? A wonderful time. Have you gone to Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre's lounge yet?
I haven't yet.
That's a dope lounge. And then you talk about the food. There's like a famous chicken restaurant that is always, the line is wrapped around the building. I can never get a bone. Okay, never get a piece. Have you had it? Is it good?
I have not had it yet, and I don't want to say the wrong name of what it is, but I know which famous chicken place you're talking about, and I need to make my way there.
Please make your way there.
BB King's?
No, it's not BB King's. Gosh,
it's not. Yeah, it's Nashville's famous hot chicken though.
Yeah, Google knows.
That's not the name of it, but that's what they're serving.
Yeah,
hot chicken.
Yeah.
My friend Google knows. Robert Saleh is going to be the coach there at Tennessee.
Yes,
he's a very intense guy.
Yes,
it's different than Spags.
Different.
How you going? You ready for that?
Absolutely. I think having a defensive-minded head coach is always, I'm not going to say a relief, but a blessing in disguise because he understands how defensive players think and is playing the game in a way that the defense is in a position where they can win the game. You know, we always have that mindset that defense can win the game even though we're not scoring points. And so I hope that, one, he's hard on the defense. I hope he's hard on the defensive line and that he allows us to kind of set the foundation. I feel like every team that I've been a part of, the front pushes the rest of the defense. Everyone goes as the defensive line goes. And so most coaches realize that and invest a lot of time early in that D-line and really making sure that they have the mentality to lead the team. And I think it'll be no different in Tennessee with Saleh.
Definitely.
What was your welcome to the NFL moment?
I think my welcome to the NFL moment, and it was honestly, I don't want to go all the way back to pre-draft process, but it was basically pre-draft process, and I was in one-on-ones at the East-West Shrine game in Vegas and had done probably 4 or 5 reps. I get out to the side. Bill Belichick pulls me to the side and brings me over and just says, look, you're a good player. You're athletic and everything, but you have a lot of room to develop. You're not going to be able to run through these guys. You're not going to be able to run around them. This is not the Ivy League anymore. Everybody is super skilled. And so I've always had that in my head of, okay, we have to elevate, we have to grow. And I think that was my welcome to the NFL moment of you can't rely on just your physical size or strength anymore. There's so much skill now that is really the game changer. Everybody is the fastest and strongest guy at their previous institution.
Yeah. I was really wishing when you said that Bill Belichick pulled you aside that you would give a little bit of his of how he talks.
No, I won't do that.
This is not McCarthy Park High or whatever he says. I would love that.
What's your fashion wise? What you going with? You like more streetwear or what's your style like?
Fashion wise, I'm a little bit all over the place, but definitely streetwear. But I'm also into, I don't want to say academic wear. That's how I think about it. I had a look earlier in the week when we were touring different venture capital firms, but a tie with a sweater with some wide flare pants on.
Okay.
You want quarter zip?
Quarter zip and matcha?
I do go quarter zips, and it's crazy though. I've been doing quarter zips for a long time, and I think
that trend.
I think the trend and the discourse around quarter zips is dangerous. I think we have to be careful of it, especially of how you dress and how it relates to how the world perceives you as an individual.
Yeah.
Now we're playing into what they want us to do, you know, respectability politics.
Yeah.
And I won't get into all of this. I have a secondary or minor in African-American studies, so I can really get into this, but I think we need to know that we are more than what we wear and more than how they perceive us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We determine that ourselves.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
So word.
Yeah. I need Chris to hit the round of applause for that one. I'm about to,
No.
Heck yeah.
Who do you have winning this weekend?
Well, I told you I played for the Patriots earlier this season, right?
Hey,
so who do you think I have with?
Hey, listen. I think though,
If it ain't Patrick, it's the Pats.
Listen, I think when you're not with that team anymore, you go for the opposition.
No, not quite.
I still got friends on the team.
Yeah, you build those relationships.
More so than I've built friends on the team. I've been in the building and understand the preparation that has gone into this, and I think that's been what's been coolest since I've been released from the team or since I've traded and moved on. Mm-hmm. I think seeing how their identity now comes to life on the screen.
Yeah,
I can see everything that we've talked about from OTAs and training camp manifesting itself through the playoffs.
Yeah,
the fact that they were able to win that game in the snow when the weather changed is not an accident at all.
On the road,
on the road, it's not an accident. Been talking about that since April of last year.
I've been raving about Mike Vrabel for a long time because I've seen what he did with Tennessee back in the day when he almost beat the Chiefs there, and then to take a 4-win team to where they're at now is just incredible. I think the attention to detail and that vision that he has set upon them at the beginning of the season is going to come to light here on Sunday.
Yeah, because even the same question with Andy Reid, because I'm not even thinking about Mike Vrabel right now, but what I can't even say what's the difference is like, but what is the difference between, what Mike Vrabel does in his system and what Andy Reid does? Because I feel like Andy Reid probably has a little more old school approach to it. And I feel like maybe Mike Vrabel has like a different, newer way of thinking.
Yeah, I think the different philosophies and different approaches there come from the fact that Coach Vrabel was a former player, and so he has a different perspective and understanding of the game, as well as just kind of how our time and how we're feeling. Like he remembers those days and wasn't in that long ago. The fact that he also played for New England, I feel like once he gets back into that building, he has a distinct, memories and remembers what those feelings are like. And so the difference in styles probably come from that. They both have different ways of getting things done, but as we've seen, they're both still effective.
Definitely.
They're both effective. And Coach Vrabel is extremely hands-on. He still puts the pads on and will mess around with the D-line and run.
Oh, yeah.
As a head coach.
You're probably going to get that from Robert Saleh as well.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
One of the things you said kind of stood out to me was you talked about meeting up with venture capital firms. What do you want to do with business? Like, where do you want to take that?
I think the story of my life is, and even why I wanted to go into medicine, is to have impact on people of color's health. Now my mission is, how do I have that impact without necessarily going back to med school? How can I broaden that impact? And so I think the venture capital world is interesting because what they're essentially trying to do is find the next big thing to make a major company. And so in my mind, what is the next major healthcare innovation? What is the next biotech company? Or what is the next way that I can have impact on changing how we think about the world in the future? And so venture capital is a way to do that, as well as I think it's cool just to kind of be in those rooms and understand what's going on. I think on that tour, we just realized how everybody's story was so similar. They came with wanting to solve a problem, not wanting to get rich, not wanting to make millions, not wanting to sell a company. They wanted to solve a problem or saw an issue and a gap in the market and came in and fixed it. And so I think VC and being able to support those people is super interesting.
Do you have an idea or even a concept that you want to introduce to the biotech world? Like, is there a certain product that you've had in mind since starting med school?
Right. And if I tell you about that, I'll have to make you sign an NDA.
All right.
So
Okay. We'll talk about that later, though.
People like to steal concepts these days. Yeah, make it their own.
We appreciate you joining on the show, man.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for having me. Bring me back to Kansas City.
How can people catch up with you?
Yeah, you can catch up with me on Instagram. My name, Truman.L.Jones, and then LinkedIn as well. About to be a lot more active on there.
All right, that's Truman Jones. Make sure you watch him and root for him, man. Tennessee Titans this coming up season. We'll be right back. This is the W Show, 100.1 FM.
So you were born in Brighton?
Born in Boston.
Win to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
All right, back in live on the W Show. We appreciate you sticking around on this Saturday morning. Man, Radio Row has been fun this week. Let's recap, man, because
definitely
we talked to a bunch of guests, a bunch of current, former players, some other folks as well joined in. Made a lot of friends this week.
Met a lot of friends.
We did make a lot of friends. I think the great thing about Radio Row, and I tell people all the time, like, I love sports. I can follow it. I understand it. But I'm not like y'all where I can be like in 1962 when this person, ran down this and did this, da-da-da-da. But I have really gained a love for like the lifestyle of the sport.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Radio Row, you get to see the players off the field. They're talking about, their personal lives more, or they're talking about the foundations and the things that they're doing in the community.
Sure.
You hear more about their personal stories. I can't remember the young man's name, but he has the foundation where he works with the single mom. So obviously, like, that touched me.
Nick Benito.
Yes. But again, just like to hear the different things that they're doing in the off season that a lot of people don't know about. Like, I think that's what I love about Radio Row too, because you get to know them more off the field.
Yeah.
I think for me, with it being my first year, last year I was just a spectator, just supporting, the good people that I love or whatever it was. How the personal relationships with certain people that I thought I would never be able to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can go on a little tangent on the names, whatever, but it was more of that, like the guy who came in, put me in, coach, that was helping kids who had a parent incarcerated.
Oh yeah.
That needed the help. And then another person that came over and that was helping headaches. And I was kind of piecing all the people that we interviewed. And I was like, man, if these guys got together in the same room, they can do something a lot bigger than what their foundations and corporations were doing.
Technically, they was in the same room.
Technically, they were, but not at the same time.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what?
I see what you said, but go ahead.
No, you know what I said. But you just had to correct me. See, when you spend a whole week with somebody or whatever, even though you've known them for 20 years or whatever, it's just like your little brother. You just want to slap him, whatever. But that's what I think. And just talking and seeing everybody perfecting their craft and talking. Like when Josina Anderson, Diana Rossini, we saw Stephen A. Smith for a second, and how they actually give you the time. They're kind of like peers in a certain way, but then they actually give you the time and talk to you or whatever. And they're just people just like you and me.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. If we're talking about highlights of the week, mine is not even sports related because it's Carl Kanai.
Yeah.
That Carl Kanai interview. And the funny thing is, he wasn't on the schedule.
No.
So when he came over here and sat down, and y'all were like, "Oh, this is Carl Kanai," I'm like,
I thought it was AZ.
Cause somebody, I'm like, cause somebody warned a brother, but nah, it was really cool to see him, because when I heard the name Carl Kanai, I was a kid again.
Yeah.
I was 10, 11, 12, 91, 92, 93, like somewhere in there. And it was a moment I had internally, because it's like, dang, I'm really sitting with a legend. And when you sit with legends that he's a legend in Black culture.
Yeah,
a lot of us remember the Carl Kanai outfits. A lot of us owned them. A lot of us saw, you still see him on Martin shows and things like that. So that really was a highlight for me. And the second one yesterday was an unexpected one. Like, I really enjoyed sitting with Amir Abdullah yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Real cool.
He was a guy that I wasn't expecting the conversation that he had.
Without the accent.
Yeah, and that was just another highlight. But even the two quarterbacks, the Joe Milton and I forget Hooker. And Hendon Hooker. Yeah, those two guys really like to sit and talk with like Black quarterbacks, because that was another thing that just really touched me as a former quarterback, when I played sports. So just being able to talk to those guys were a good thing. But still, the apex is Carl Kanai. And then for him to be the guy that's going to be dressing Coco Jones, I really just want to watch the game now just to see what
you gonna wear?
what the inspiration is. And even just a little tidbit, the hint of her inspiration behind that outfit. So I'm anxious to see that even part of the game. So
I would say for me, it's a couple things. One is the set. We put time and thought and effort into, the design of this and actually making it come to life. And a lot of people like respected it, they came by and actually said like, hey, I mean, we had a lot of pictures, news stations come by and record. And as we were talking to people, I don't know if y'all noticed, but people come by taking pictures that weren't even with the PR companies that we were working with. And so I think that for me was one of the highlights, just having people just honestly tell us like, hey, y'all got the best set here. And I'm like, dang, really?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is just working with some of the bigger brands that actually trusted us with their clients and trusted us with their messaging. I think that was really huge, especially like Bounty and Charmin and Dog TV. Those companies, I mean, those companies are bigger than life with Procter and Gamble.
Yeah.
And so they actually, because we spent years trying to get them to trust us with their clients. And so they finally, it's kind of like once you claw down the door and open it up and they let you in, it's like, all right, where can we go from here? So I think those two things was kind of, more or less the highlights in my week.
And then also a round of applause for our producer team that's not here.
Yeah.
All of the ladies behind the scenes and Steve for the preparation that they put forward for this week. Because I mean,
put together an itinerary.
Yeah, and
which is like to know this man for 30 years.
Steve's not that kind of guy, but for him to be able to put together not only the set design, the idea behind the set design, but then also the itinerary, like a lot of things that Steve did, Steve and the team did leading up to this, like it definitely made the week a lot easier.
You know what that means, though, right?
What's that?
Next year's bigger and better, baby.
And
I know it's definitely.
The thing is, I can't even take credit for all of it. I mean, Peyton, he helped with having this design. Leandria and Amaya helped with the creative and also like making sure that things go smoothly. Because I mean, behind the scenes, she's a director.
That's what I'm saying.
They both make sure that the marketing pieces, whether it be from Gates or Golden Gate or Dillard's or Solar Santa, and I'm running down Wood Nissan and Third and Long Foundation, and I know I'm missing one, but I think them being there behind the scenes definitely makes it go smoother. Because you think about the weeks that we've had, the years that we've had where the Chiefs have been in it. I mean, we running back and forth from
practice and media availability,
and then trying to schedule interviews is like one of the toughest things. I think within itself, not having to do that this year made it a whole lot smoother. And no disrespect to the Chiefs, because we'd rather them be here, but just it made it like a lot smoother and things function well.
You'll probably have another year like that, though. That'll be cool.
It made it a lot smoother with them not being here. But yeah.
And also shout out C-Lens. Also behind the scenes, making sure that y'all got our best angles, and in the meantime, snapping some photos. So make sure you keep up to date and turn those notifications on, because you'll have a lot of content being flushed out.
To need to be edited.
You know what though? It's cool that you said C-Lens, because I want to give kudos to him too. Because like I remember the first year that he came, and it was like last year.
We threw him right into the fire.
Yeah, I was like, Chris, we gotta build this set. We had the couches, and we were up till 2 a.m. It was just me and him, just in here in New Orleans grinding it out, like building a set together. And then the next day, to him actually having to work all the cameras and work. I was like, hey, if you see somebody that look like their player, go get them. Tell them we need them over here. And he be trying to track people down, plus putting the overlay on, plus doing everything. So yeah, I think he's definitely come a long way. He's not has the deer in the headlights, looking at a deer in the headlights anymore. He's definitely a part of the brand and make us sound good, look good, and everything.
I think he's dropping a tear though.
It's probably from hunger.
It is.
Indeed.
He got some spicy wing sauce still on his fingers from yesterday.
Yeah, can I just bring up real quick that I got to see Ashanti.
Oh, did you?
Up close and personal.
Yeah.
When I say like she is so pretty.
Yeah.
Ashanti, I love you.
Talk about that event that you went to.
So the Off the Field Wives NFL Association. I told y'all it's a long name.
Yeah.
It's a long name. But essentially, they've been around for 25 years, and every host city that they go to for a Super Bowl, they partner with a local nonprofit to raise money. And this year, they chose the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
So that was kind of why like Ashanti was there, because she also does work with the Boys and Girls Club, and then she did like a little mini performance as well. But they get a lot of the wives from the teams that are in the Super Bowls. A lot of the wives, they'll model and things like that. So it's pretty cool to see like the husbands will get out there and like walk with them, but it's an opportunity for the wives to get that spotlight too, because, you know, they may not be on the field, you know, doing the work and things like that, but they're doing a lot behind the scenes. And it's pretty cool because when you're interviewing the husbands, like they sit there and they just give their wives flowers. So it's pretty cool.
That's dope. That's real dope. And I want to talk about the game on Sunday, because we've talked to everybody we talked to, minus, you know, a couple. I mean, Truman, who we just had on, was one of them that chose, you know, the Patriots. Everybody else has been choosing Seattle.
Yeah.
So I just want to get you guys' thoughts on who you got winning the game on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm still with Seattle. And I forget who made the point. I think it was Ryan Clark or somebody that we heard this week. But I think it's going to come down to quarterback play. And I think the experience of Sam Darnold is going to be the one that beats out the Drake May. Not saying that I'm not confident in Drake May. Like he played a season. I literally just looked. I didn't know he threw for 4,000 yards this year. So being able to do that is a big feat. Being so young in his career and his first year under Mike Vrabel, because you don't expect a young guy with a defensive-minded head coach to be throwing for 4,000 yards, but utilizing the targets that he had around him. But I'm just not sure that offensively they'll be able to keep up with Seattle. I think Seattle has even though they have a few that are injured, I think they just have quite a few weapons that'll be able to eke them over the top. I'm not expecting a blowout. We keep hearing blowout. I don't like, even last year, I didn't even want to think about that game as a blowout. Like, I like to see good football. Like, I don't like to see a game over in the third quarter. Like, I want to see a game that if it's 5 minutes left and it's decided, cool. Like, we've had the majority of four quarters, but I like to see a good football game. And I think this will be that, because it's different from the other years that we've had. Because even in the Rams and the Bengals Super Bowl, I feel like that they were not necessarily high scoring, but I feel like there was a little bit of scoring in that. I feel like the ball was moved a lot in this one. I think in this one, you're going to see a little bit more of a defensive matchup.
Yeah. I'll say when Seattle played San Francisco. Oh, God. Sorry. But that was probably the first time like I really, really paid attention, even though it was towards the end of the season.
Just to diss me.
But no, it wasn't. But I mean, I guess I assumed that the 49ers were a little better than what they had put out on that day when Seattle played them. So once I seen them kind of like run over your team,
I was just like, I understand. You know what?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I was just like, okay, like Seattle, and then just based off of the Patriots and that Denver game, that was very, very close. It just became like weird towards the end.
Yeah.
Because I was like, nobody's scoring, like nobody's doing anything. But the Patriots like really, really struggled that game.
I'll let Steve get the last take because I know he's going to pick the Seahawks. I'm going to go with the Patriots, and I know it's been one of those things where, I'm picking the Patriots to go against the grain. But I think after just reading over some things and going over all the games that they played and listening to other people who talk, we talk about how great Seattle's defense is, but then I think we forget that the Patriots, as ugly as a win it was, it still was a win, and they beat one of the top defenses in the league. They beat the Denver Broncos in Denver, and they beat the Houston Texans in Houston. And I think with Mike Vrabel being a player coach that played in those situations multiple times with the New England Patriots in the building that he's in, I think he'll give them that player perspective to have them ready and focused and attention to detail to how to beat a team in a playoff game and in a Super Bowl of this magnitude. Now, of course, Mike McDonald is a great coach. He's done great with Seattle, but I think coming from that player's perspective and to be able to talk to them and say, hey, this is what you should do, this is what you should look for, give them the perspective of this is what the interviews are going to be like, these are the questions you're going to hear, and have that stability. I think that's going to put them a little bit over the edge for me to pick the Patriots.
For me, I think it's whoever scores first. To be honest, I think it's going to be one of those kind of games. I think, most of the time you see, you hear me say whoever has the ball last, but I think it's going to be who scores first, just because just watching how the playoffs have gone, and the trend of that is that a lot of the teams that have scored first have won. I mean, you look at we talked about New England against when they played Denver in that snow. They were able to score first right when it was, it was a sunny day, and then all of a sudden you look up third quarter, it's kind of transitioned into a snow globe. So they had that 1 point lead and they kept it. And I feel like both defenses can help their offense keep that lead as long as don't have any turnovers. So I think it's going to be whoever scores first. And if I have to give a winner, I'm going to surprise you, Mike, and I'm going to say the Patriots, because when you think about just that offense and how they've been rolling, and the coach who I can't remember who we talked to earlier this week that talked about he's one of those coaches that you run through a wall for. And he definitely, I think it was Darius Harris. Yeah. Darius talked about Mike Vrabel and the fact that he can get those guys up to run through a wall from. And not only that, he has Super Bowl experience. Yeah. He does. And I think that goes a long way. And I feel like the Patriots have 5 guys on that team that have Super Bowl experience. Yeah. I can't remember how many that the Denver Broncos have, if any. But I really, I mean, you got Sean. No, you got the. Do they have anybody?
Seattle?
Seattle? Yeah. I don't think they have anybody that has maybe
Dexter,
one.
DeMarcus Lawrence wasn't in it.
You got the guy that was there when Seattle
Cup.
went. Yeah, Cooper Kupp. He has MVP experience. So, but I still feel like the Patriots are gonna end up pulling it out.
Yeah, and I think there's a possibility, but the only thing I don't like about Mike's point is that beating Houston, that's CJ Stroud you're facing. We haven't seen CJ Stroud really become that guy. Like he's not a guy that's earned like the playoff Pat nickname. Oh yeah. And then also beating Denver. You beat a Bo Nix led team, and Bo Nix is not there. He could get there under the tutelage of Sean Payton, but he's definitely not there yet as far as like having to be able to complete the circle of that team. But I definitely think the Patriots have a chance just because of Mike Vrabel. Yeah. And being able to be that guy that can tell the guys that can speak to the guys as a former player that has been here, that has played on a dynasty, that knows what it takes. And I think that's a slight advantage because Seattle, you said they really lack Super Bowl experience from the top down. Yeah. And so I don't know. I would like to see the Patriots win for one reason and one reason only, because of how Cardi B is going to react. Yeah.
I was thinking that, like, because her post-game interview, and she said, "In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, we going to the Super Bowl." But just imagine like her coming out for halftime, because her and Bad Bunny have a song together. Yeah. I like it like that. Yeah. So just imagine, he brings her up on that stage.
I think he will.
And then the Patriots get that win.
Yeah, it's gonna be fire.
Because that was the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing that they wanted. But we can get it with Cardi B and Stephon Diggs, and we'll be just as excited. And she got a concert coming up. So this is a great, because typically when you do the Super Bowl, this is the start. This is a rollout.
The money rolls in.
Yeah,
not a rollout, a roll in.
Yeah, because when Beyonce did it, I said, "Okay, girl, I know what you're about to do. Let me go get my coins."
On that note, we're gonna take a quick break. We will come back. We're gonna wrap this thing up and put a ball in, and we'll be right back. This is the W Show.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live. You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
All right, back inside Radio Row, the W Show. We appreciate you. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us all week, and just want to kind of get a recap of how you guys felt like the city was for this Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean we've heard the rumblings of it's the tech pros against the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. But I was expecting more fanfare in the airport. I feel like the last few seasons we've seen that. The last few cities we've seen it in. Vegas was very lit up. New Orleans was very lit up. Our very first one in Miami, they had a whole welcoming committee to see us as we got off the plane on that Saturday or Sunday before. San Francisco, if I was a foreigner coming to America and I landed in San Francisco, I would know nothing about the Super Bowl happening.
That's true.
Because I feel like traffic's already here. I feel like it's bad even when it's not the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I kind of wanted to see a little bit more fanfare about the Super Bowl throughout the city.
Yeah,
I spoke to a lady yesterday. I'll go real quick, and it made sense. Super Bowl was in Santa Clarita, obviously with economical times.
Santa Clara.
Santa Clarita.
It's Saturday, right? She made a great point with the economic things as are going on, especially in this state. Super Bowl there, flying this city or whatever, allocation of money. She said if you go to Santa Clara, it's going to be great.
I want to take a time out to say thank you to all of our sponsors that helped us get to do this whole week. First of all, Dealers on the Rosa, the Solar Santa, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, Wood Nissan, Gates Barbecue, Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services, and the Third and Long Foundation. And speaking of Third and Long Foundation, you have the Day 58 donation calendar. Help the Derek Thomas Neil Smith Third and Long Foundation reach $58,000 by the 58th day. Donate daily. Pick your days. Make sure you help them sack literacy, and you can go to thirdlongfoundation.com and there's a QR code that you can scan. If you see it on your screen, you're watching us on social media, make sure you help do that. And we appreciate you guys watching us, following us all week. Remember, like and share all of our videos, and we are out of here.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.